Hi, friends. It's Deanna Williston with Our Blooming Catholic Life, and I wanted to come to you today with my first Mother's Day gift. I'm so excited. If you don't know what an Adoremus hymnal is, it's the hymnal used by EWTN, and it says at the end of every Mass they film, that you could get it from the religious catalog. And so my husband did. It was very exciting for me to receive this. So let's dive in and just do a little book walk, and then we're getting ready for Mass now. And so I'll get to use it in Mass and get back to you on how it worked out. So let's see, opening it up. It does say it's the second edition, a congregational hymnal including the ordinary, the Mass, chants and music for sung Masses, hymns for liturgical feasts, seasons, occasions, and devotions, produced by Adoremus Society for the Renewal of the Sacred Liturgy and Ignatius Press in San Francisco. I forgot to point out, sorry, one of the words in there reminded me, this is the melody edition. The choir edition is also available. So if you want to sing the appropriate part at home, you can. Published with the approval of the Committee on Divine Worship, USCCB, in 2011. Okay, the English translation of the Mass is from 2010. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's an organ edition, a standard edition, and a melody edition. I got the melody edition. Oh, table of contents. Introduction, order of the Mass. So the order of the Mass is right away in the beginning, which normally it's stuck in the middle somewhere, right? And a bunch of ordinaries, both in Latin, then in English, and then hymns are towards the back. Yep. And then indexes, index of ordinaries, index of first lines, index of liturgical season or occasion, index of related scriptural references. Ooh, that's nice. Introduction to the second edition. I just want to read you this one little quote. Heavenly music can lead us to heaven. Through sacred music, Christians both express and communicate by their human voices, their human artistry offered in worship, their faith in God and in the glory of the risen Savior Jesus Christ. The Church's hymn of praise is joined to the heavenly harmony of the angels and saints in the worship of God. Such music must obey a stricter law than the commonplace music of everyday life. Such music is beholden to the Word and must lead to the Spirit, as Pope Benedict, then Cardinal Ratzinger, observed in a 1977 lecture in Germany. The original edition of the Adoremus Hymnal was our response to the call for revitalization of the reverence and beauty in Catholic worship, recognizing the musical tradition of the Universal Church as a treasure of inestimable value, greater than even that of any other art, and that sacred music has the sublime power to unite beauty and truth in a profound way that resonates deep within our hearts and can lead us to God. And I rail every now and then on a hymn, and I'm like, what does it even mean? It rhymes. It sounds pretty. It's got a pretty little melody. I have no idea theologically what I'm saying here. Not going to find that in here. They've taken the time. They've kind of assured me that in the beginning here. Okay. And that is from the Helen Hull Hitchcock, the general editor of the revised edition. Let's see, the order of the Mass. So it doesn't just have it. It has actual chants written out for you. Woohoo! Very nice. Oh, and if you didn't notice, one page here is in Latin and one page in English. So if your Mass is a mixed Mass, like EWTN does have a mixed Mass, and I think Father Joseph Mary had on recently that the reason they do that is because it is shown around the world from EWTN, and they have visitors from around the world, so having some parts in the vernacular so that the local people all understand it, and some in Latin so that everyone understands it. It lets everyone enter into the Mass. And so the thing is that the problem I think that they really ran into with the Masses being full Latin was people weren't being properly catechized. So one of the bits of having small pieces in is you can learn the small pieces, learn the small words, and maybe you'll be able to have a Mass with different Latin or more Latin at another time. It's more welcoming to everyone. But the benefit of having a good hymnal, a good teaching hymnal like this, is it's going to have it in Latin and in English so that you can see the real meaning of the words. I do like, I admit I opened this last night when I got it. My husband gave it to me early so I'd have it for today and not be freaking out during Mass because I'm a book nerd. I like the size of the print. I think you can see that. It's not really tiny, but it's not obnoxiously big that it's going to take up way too much room. So what the priest says is smaller, and the people reply it's bolded. So that's nice. There's lots of really great notes. The notes are in red, and they are a little bit smaller. So if you have some vision issues, shouldn't be a huge deal if you're already familiar with the Mass. But if you're not familiar with the Mass, that might throw you off a little bit. So this seems really accessible, easily navigated. So I'm going to try it for the first time during Mass today, and I'll let you know how it goes. Hi friends, so it's after Mass, and I did get to use my new Adoremus Hymnal, and it worked good and bad, I guess. Part of it's going to be getting used to it. So the parts of the Mass, remember I said, were in the front of the book. Here's the thing. So you can figure out pretty quickly, you need to look at Latin or English side, and since they're side by side, that's not a problem at all. You know, you hear like the first word from the priest or the choir, and you're like, got it, and you're looking at the right one. The problem is some of these have a lot of or for more arrangements, go to this section. So, like the Nicene Creed, okay? Latin, English. Well, they may or may not be singing this particular version. The easiest thing to do for those situations that you go, keep going, go some more. And at the end of that section, it's going to have it just written out like a regular prayer. So if they're not following that exact set of music, you can just go to the prayer written out. So that's super helpful to know. That's going to be at the end. They may have like 3 or 4 arrangements of any given part of the Mass, but it's going to be in prayer form at the end. Here's where it gets a little weird. You know, the priest can have a lot of options at some point. Eucharistic prayers. That's where it got a little bit crazy for me, and you're like, which one are they doing? And there's like 15, and then it's Eucharistic Prayer 1, and then it's like all these options. Eucharistic Prayer 1 is like 10, 15. Oh, like, yeah, easily 10, 15 pages. And Eucharistic Prayer 2. So some of those prayers are going to be seasonal that you're not going to be using now. So if you're okay with it, get a little paper clip and bundle up the ones that you're not using. Like right now we're in Easter season, so they're probably saying one proper to the Easter season, and that's the only one you really want out. So use your paper clip and bundle it together, because just the section on the Mass, let's see if we can get it for you. The order of the Mass alone is, that's still the Creed. Oh wait, no, those are more arrangements. So starts on like page 1 and goes to 137. That's just the Mass. And so obviously they're not using all of those every Mass. So yeah, paper clips I think might be good. If you're a ribbon person, maybe mark it with ribbons for your season. Yeah, so that was the only part that was super tricky there. The hymns are super easy to find. These numbers are nice and big up here. And I didn't have a problem with that. Sorry, my son's Mother's Day card is in the back, and it keeps falling out of the hymnal. What got me was there was a hymn they sang at the end, and the third verse was totally different than what I know. Okay, most of the hymns they sing, I actually know. So even if I didn't, they usually put the number of the hymn they're singing in the name at the bottom. But even if they don't, I know it enough to know at least the first line, and I can look it up from the first line index in the back. And awesome, and I can find it. Yeah, so that worked for all the songs. It was either up on the TV, or, you know, the organist is playing the intro, and I know what song it is, and I'm looking ahead before they even get there. But yeah, that one, they sang a different last verse that totally threw me off. I have no idea what they were singing. And then the very last song was just a chorus song, choir song, so it wasn't, it might not have even been from here. It's not a song I knew, and I couldn't tell what they were singing, and that's what I don't like. I like to be able to follow along in the words. I don't care if I can necessarily see the music. I like to look at the actual words of the song they're singing when they're singing it. It's like the responsorial psalm. A lot of people like to follow along or in the readings. I also like to follow along with any hymns that are sung in Mass. So did I love it? Is this the best thing in the world? Probably not the best thing in the world, But it's really great. It really did open up the Mass to me. I found out there were a couple words in Latin I've been saying wrong. I had a feeling I was just a little off. It was like one letter off. So that was very helpful to have the Latin and the English right there, and that I could see, okay, got that word wrong, and I could see the correct form of the word, and so yay. So that was super helpful to me. Like I say, get some paper clips or ribbons, and this is going to be much better. I don't know that they follow the same patterns. Like, I only used it in one Mass, so I don't know if you're a regular EWTN Mass watcher and you know, do the different priests have different preferences? Like, I don't know. You know, you tend to find that in different places. They might say a slightly different, like, prayer at different parts. Because they do have some options, right? And so I don't know how you're going to know that's coming. And if you're comfortable just following along with the Mass, that's fine. I tended to try and follow it, not necessarily because I had to know every word the priest was saying, but because I wanted to get the next section right, and I was really trying to fully utilize this resource and enter in the Mass in that way. So that's it. Do I recommend this book? Absolutely. It was really good. Yeah, I felt, and it's funny people say, did you enter into the Mass? I did enter into it a little bit more because I wasn't as hung up on saying the words wrong or trying to remember the Latin correctly. Or even trying to remember the English correctly, because I had it in front of me, and it did make it easier for me to focus on the prayer and not what I was trying to memorize and get correct, if that makes sense. So, little perfectionist like me, it did help out being able to look down those prayers all the time. So I definitely liked it. I encourage you. I think my husband got it at EWTNreligiouscatalog.com. And again, there's several versions out. I think there's one for the choir, one for the organist, and one for the general person. So the general one I got was called the Melody Edition. And yeah, highly recommend it. God bless, friends. Bye.